Every new Smash Bros. Game does a great job in featuring a wide array of characters for its rosters, while having a great blend of Nintendo classics alongside some new faces that have become part of the family, and even third-party characters that once had a great impact in gaming's history. And while some debate regarding a couple of franchises having way too many characters filling up the roster, some of us would really like to see another character representing Metroid or F-Zero. This usually would spark a new type of argument that usually states that the franchises like Metroid has nothing to offer besides a particular purple dragon that is too big for this game. Ridley for Smash 5! But if those people look closer into the trophy collection that Smash Bros. Has to offer, they could perhaps learn something more about the franchise and realize that while Samus is a protagonist of the games, there are many evils still waiting to have another opportunity to have their revenge. Trophies were a concept first introduced in Super Smash Bros. Melee as a neat way to continue celebrating more of Nintendo's rich gaming history, and ultimately serve as a fun distraction and give some characters and items a shout out, while conveniently giving us a brief description of their origins and in which games we have seen them. Melee had 3 trophies per playable character, and each one could be obtained by completing a particular mode in single player. Usually each trophy would have a different skin of a particular character, or even at times different iterations, or see the evolution of a character between different games. In the case of Samus, we get to see the evolution of her armors in Super Metroid. The Power Suit was given to you if you completed the game's Classic mode, the Varia Suit was obtained after completing Adventure mode, while the Gravity Suit in its Morph Ball form was given to you after completing the All-Star mode. The rest of the trophies in the games were focused on Super Metroid simply because it was the last game to be released before Melee. These included creatures such as the main antagonist Ridley and Kraid, and even the Metroids, to some of Samus's arsenal like her gunship and even the screw attack, as well as featuring the item-giving Choso statue which we see in the Brinstar stage. I think one cool feature about the gunship in this game is that, as you notice, it's referred to as Starship, as the term gunship came more with the Metroid Prime series later on. Moving on to Smash Bros. Brawl, here we see that the trophies are now being more focused on the Metroid Prime series. While completing the Classic mode will give you a trophy of either Varia Suit Samus or Zero Suit Samus, featuring their look from the character select screen, beating All-Star mode will now grant you with a Final Smash trophy. In the case of Samus, we get to see Samus's Zero Laser, and in the case of Zero Suit Samus, we will get a trophy of her regaining her armor in a similar style to what we saw in Metroid Zero Mission after defeating the Choso Ghost Boss. What's interesting though, is that if you look at the Samus trophy, it says that Metroid was her first appearance, and Super Metroid as her latest appearance. And I believe this detail was on purpose, since Brawl's armor seems to be an updated look of Super Metroid's design. The same goes for Zero Suit Samus, that depicts Zero Mission as her only appearance, even though she was seen with this look in Metroid Prime 2 and Hunters, and there's indeed trophies of both games in Brawl. But I guess Smash only considered Metroid Zero Mission as an appearance simply because it's the only game where Zero Suit Samus was playable. Brawl also gives us a modern display of Samus's different armors, with the Power Suit, Varia Suit, and Gravity Suit featuring their Metroid Prime look, as well as the first time Samus's armor completely changed from its classic design with the Fusion Suit and later with the Dark Suit. This game also gives us a new look for the screw attack that now resembles more of the item that's in the game, and Samus's gunship, which now is featured in its Metroid Prime 2 look, and it's just worth noting that it's now actually being referred to as a gunship. The Metroid this time around is being portrayed as the same way he looks in his assist trophy within the game, compared to Ridley, who still has his look from Super Metroid. We also get trophies based around the enemies from the Metroid Prime series, such as the Space Pirate and the Parasite Queen, considering that the frigate Orpheon is a stage in this game. The Sheegoth trophy was probably added because of its appearance in all the early promo material for the first Prime game, as well as a trophy for Meta Ridley, considering that he makes an appearance as a boss within the Subspace Emissary. And the trophies for Metroid Prime's Core and Exor forms were probably added to give some reference into Dark Samus's past, which we could consider to be the embodiment of Phazon, and therefore is sort of like the main villain of the Metroid Prime trilogy. And lastly, we get a trophy based on the Luminoth, since they are the species we're receiving in Metroid Prime 2, which was the last game alongside Hunters to come out for the series before Brawl began development. But more importantly, this game added a particular set of 6 trophies, based on the bounty hunters that once traded blows with Samus in a fight for the ultimate power on the Alembic cluster. These being the lab experiment Candon, a Vozon elite known as Noxus, the last of the silicon-based Diamond Spire, a banished Kraken by the name of Trace, the cyborg space pirate of Vendetta Weevil, and a mysterious hunter and killer only referred to as Silex. These 6 are one of the more obscure and common requests Metroid fans ask to be added for the Smash roster, alongside the hunters from Metroid Prime 3, Rondis, Gandrada, and Gore, considering that they're some of the few who ever stood toe-to-toe with the galaxy's greatest hunter. Moving on to the latest Smash Bros. Games that comes in 2 separate flavors, their trophies were based around the last Metroid to be released, which was... No, not Federation Force. We're talking about a couple of years ago. This game just came out this year, guys. I'm talking about everybody's favorite Metroid Other M! Some of the trophies in Smash 4 were shared between versions, such as the one you would get for beating Classic Mode for Samus and Zero Suit Samus, the Screw Attack, the Metroids, Mother Brain, who is sporting her look from Zero Mission, and Dark Samus, featured in her more powerful Metroid Prime 3 rendition. A thing I think is worth noting is that Zero Suit Samus now depicts Metroid Other M as her latest game, since we also do play with her in the escape sequence at the end. But more surprisingly is that Various Suit Samus still depicts Metroid and Super Metroid as a first and last appearance for the character, even though she's now in her Other M suit. I guess this game likes to pretend like the Metroid Prime trilogy never happened. Just like Nintendo at times. However, both games also feature a special alternative version of the trophies for the playable characters, each being unique to either the 3DS or the Wii U version. And in the case of Metroid, I really think the 3DS got the better looking ones in my opinion. Armored Samus is using her Dark Samus variant while performing her up smash in the Wii U version, but she is using her Light Suit variant while striking a new relaxed pose that fits the character well in the 3DS version instead. On the other hand, the Wii U has Zero Suit Samus performing her down special in her white Metroid 2 variant, but the 3DS instead has her in her original Justin Bailey pink outfit in a pose similar to what we see in the Max Factory figure. Moving on to the exclusive trophies, the 3DS received the Various Suit with its new look from Other M in a pose that's way better looking than the one we got for the actual game, as well as a disgusting purple aura that the game refers to as a gravity suit. As for the rest of the trophies, these are more in line to the Metroid enemies we see in Smash Run, such as Gamers, Rios, and Key Hunters. For the Wii U version, we got the return of the final Smash trophies that were absent on the 3DS version. This includes the return of the Zero Laser for Armored Samus, alongside a new trophy for Zero Suit Samus, since her final Smash changed since the last game. We also see the inclusion of the Other M version of the Gunship as a separate trophy, as well as the Morph Ball. This game also added more secondary characters that played some important role in Other M's story, such as Madeline Bergman, who is the person in charge of the battleship's researches, Melissa Bergman, aka MB, that, by the way, spoiler alert, stands for Mother Brain. They share the same initials. We did it, guys. We did it. And everybody's favorite jerk, I mean commanding officer, Adam Malkovich. For the enemies, we got the Julions, FG2 Gram units, and Zero, since they made an appearance in the Pyrosphere stage, the Sabesian Space Pirates, who are trying to hide the fact the Metroid Prime trilogy was actually a thing, and we get some love for the more popular bosses from Metroid Other M, like Phantom, Vorash, Nightmare, the Metroid Queen, the King Key Hunter, and who could forget, the RB-176 Pharaoh Crusher. Come on guys, where's the love for a good old Bruckmess? He was Lyle's favorite enemy.
Get away from me! Lyle! Enough!
One last fun batch of trophies is that we get the full Ridley evolution line from Other M. I guess he was a Digimon this time around or something.
Little birdie, Digivolve too!
Giant purple space pterodactyl pirate.
And also socially awkward tween Ridley!
Now going back to Melee for a second, there was one last trophy that was exclusive to Japanese events and that can only be accessed otherwise by using cheating devices. Yes, I cheated just for the sake of this video, guys. You're welcome. As the name implies, you will get a Samus trophy where she has taken off her helmet, but what's interesting about this is that the trophy has the same pose and a similar hair to what is seen in the ending of Metroid Prime. The last thing I want to mention about the trophies is some of the quirks that came in the form of mistakes in the descriptions of a couple of Metroid trophies in Brawl. Proofreading at its finest! First of all, the Dark Suit trophy says that you acquired this suit on Dark Torva's temple, while in fact you collect it is after you defeat Amorbis in the Dark Agon Waste temple. You instead get the Dark Visor after defeating Chica in the Dark Torva's temple. Meanwhile, Dark Samus's trophy states that there are no proven theories of the doppelganger's origin, while in fact we all know that Dark Samus was born from the combination of Samus's DNA in the Phazon suit with the radioactive substance after Metroid Prime stole it. Another quirk about the description is that it states Dark Samus as being identical to Samus in every way but color. I guess whoever wrote the description suffers from the same problem people had in Sonic Adventure 2. And lastly, Kandan's trophy says that he was the result of an experiment attempting to create invisible soldiers, which is weird considering he doesn't have an ability like that, but does instead trace his power with the Imperialist. This was perhaps a typo in which they intended to say that he was the result of an experiment trying to create invincible soldiers, as in indestructible. Indeed, one of the many joys from Smash comes from collecting as many trophies as you can to learn more from the games you might have not played yet, and hopefully spark some curiosity to make you want to try them. And who knows, maybe in the end one of these Metroid trophies might become a playable character in the future and challenge Samus as well as the rest of the cast to a fight. It wouldn't be the first time someone managed to leave the trophy vault to become a part of the roster. Hey guys, it's Albert. You may know me for being the disembodied voice on the Orpheon. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I just wanted to take a minute to apologize for the delays in making it, since, no surprise, the holiday season had me quite distracted to say the least. But rest assured, more videos are on the way in the future, and I hope you guys look forward to them. Thanks for watching.